Should we act like we don't know each other?
No, yeah, we never met.
Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much.
Welcome to another episode of the Film Biz Show. We are here at Fame Week Africa 2025, and today's episode is very special and dear to my heart because it's a brother who I respect dearly, a filmmaker, sound person on the film set, an all-round phenomenal human being, and a good friend of mine, Mr. Adisa Septuri. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, brother. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Thank
the
you.
motherland.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How are you finding Cape Town?
My smile is brighter, brother.
Yeah.
I feel taller. I feel like I'm home. You know, for real though, for real. You know, I've been making movies in the States for a while now. I've been dealing with the confines of America, but filmmaking is so much larger than that. And as a people, as an African people, we are so much larger than what we think we are in terms of the America and the diaspora where I'm from. So I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be here connecting with my brothers and sisters, reaching across the waters, if you will. And networking.
I want to talk about, well, let's start off with your experience here at Fame Week 2025. You meeting filmmakers, being a part of the panel, and obviously you had some projects that you were pitching and kind of meeting with investors and possibly co-producers. What is it? What kind of lessons have you learned being around?
Well, you know, it's always, you got to put yourself out there. And by putting, you can't, nothing comes to anybody who's shy or who's at home, who's staying closed. So by being out there, exposing yourself to the elements, if you will, by taking chances and risks, you learn a lot. And so in this case, to your question, people are responding to my project very well, which I'm happy about. And I've learned 2025, the expo here, I'm learning about pitching. You know, I've learned how to pitch the project a little bit better. I've gotten advice on ROIs. I've met with other filmmakers who have gotten films out there in the marketplace already. So I'm learning from their experiences. The panels have been, wow.
I mean, you have a very special connection to the continent of Africa. You have a foundation that's based in Sierra Leone. When did your journey with the motherland begin? Obviously, as a native of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I started. Listen, coming where I came from, West Oakland, California, graduating high school with a 1.6 grade point average.
Wow.
That's a D minus.
So,
you know, it wasn't that there were low expectations on us. There were no expectations from where I came from. So having grown up in that environment, you know, I didn't think much about filmmaking or doing much of anything. But then I came across Spike Lee, his films. Spike Lee, you know, his image is so important, right? We talk about making movies, but images inspire people. So Spike Lee inspired me to be a filmmaker. Then that would lead me to work on a documentary film shoot with Isaiah Washington. And I came over to Sierra Leone in 2006. And that just set it off for me. I mean, once I came over to Sierra Leone for 2000, I've been longing to come to Africa. I did come to Africa in 2000. I came to Egypt, but that was more of a spiritual trip with my church. But when I came in Africa in 2006, I mean, I just fell in love with the continent. And so, as you know, I started a foundation there, the Disa Sports and Arts Academy, 9 acres of land. For me, it's all about giving back to the youth, training filmmakers, the next generation of storytellers in terms of Africa. Africa has given me so much, I want to give back. And so that's my way of giving back.
Yeah. That's really good, man. That's really good. Have you found that the way in which South Africans and Africans in general navigate the financing world of this business is slightly different to what our counterparts are doing in Hollywood?
Yeah, well, the thing over here is that there's just, the resources aren't as plentiful in America. Like the banks, the big studio system, the $1 million, like when I say $1 million features, the $50 million features, the $100 million features. You don't see that it's coming out as much over here. The struggle is still the same. Listen, I'm an independent filmmaker in America. I'm not necessarily aligned with Hollywood like that. I'm still an independent filmmaker, making my movies, getting the monies the way I get it. So I see that connection with the South African filmmakers, and we're all looking to get our piece of the pie. Right. With you have sometimes the government funding, sometimes you have the programs that are funding the films. And I know the storytelling or the tendency in that area is the funding says you have to do a drama because you don't have the money for the special effects and all the, the action sequences and stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, the struggles are still similar.
Yeah.
Similar.
It's funny how sometimes, when we compare budgets, it never really balances, but you would understand because of the differences in the currency exchange.
Sure. I would just want us to just take more pride in where we are. Like, don't let America set the standard. Don't be like trying to chase American, whatever that thing is we're trying to chase in terms of stardom and fame. Let's create our own. Let's have our own. Let's have an appreciation for our own, whether that's South Africa, West Africa, the Cameroon, Sierra Leone, where, I put a flag down there. But because as you know, I'm gonna co-produce my next project here in South Africa.
Wonderful, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Wonderful.
I mean, that's something I hadn't even imagined. I always thought about making movies in the future, but the idea that I'm a co-produce or co-production with a South African entity, I'm so excited about that.
I can't wait to hear who that entity is, what that entity is.
I didn't know if I should share it. I didn't know if I should say, Marcus, I'm going to be co-producing with me, co-partnering with you.
But
serendipitously, how we met. I mean, it has to be divinely written in the stars the way we met. There's no other way to.
I can tell you, this is the first time I read your scripts. Man, there was something that happened inside of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and here we are. A year later, we've flown down.
It's divinely orchestrated because I had been praying. I said, I need a South African partner. We've done a lot in a short amount of time. I was praying. I said, I need a South African partner. Working with my producer, Tom. And I said, we need a connection to the continent. And you weren't the first person we were reaching out to. We reached out to people in Nigeria. We reached out to people in Ghana, looking at what that would look like. And it finally just all the signs led to South Africa. And now being here right now, it feels right.
Full circle moment.
It feels full circle moment, man. Yeah, it feels right. I feel natural. I feel like, I don't know, it feels organic.
Even when you came, because the decision for you to come here was pretty, abrupt.
It was very abrupt.
You just, we were in a meeting with potential partners.
Yeah.
We thought they're bringing some money. We said, okay, no. I said, I'll see you in Fame Week. We might pitch together. And we didn't even pitch one project with them.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't about them. It really wasn't about them. It was, you had to come here and experience what you've experienced. And so many young people we passed by, just like, who's that American director? Already your energy is contagious.
So I appreciate that.
I'm loving that about that.
Yeah, no, I feel home. I feel home.
Yeah.
Something's weird. I don't know what's weird about it. And I resist it. I have to be honest. If I have to be really honest, I try to resist it a little bit because I'm a West African guy. Like I'm West African and the drums and the people and the color and the head wraps and all that. But there's something about South Africa, man. There's just something about the people here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Africa's Africa, And you mentioned something very interesting about the architecture and the landscape. It does look very much like Europe, but I think when it comes to our business, it's a great advantage, and that's why we have such a a good servicing industry because
it's a good servicing. The people here in South Africa. Something about the energy. You could talk about Africa as a whole, but Africa is very specific to different regions. And South Africa has its own thing going. It just has its own thing going, and I feel it. And it speaks to me.
And when you go through the city of Cape Town, you see that. Do you get some inspiration in terms of how you can rework some of the work that you're planning on shooting? Because obviously, these films that we want to do.
I'm so glad I came, and I'm so glad for the question, because had I not come, I couldn't have imagined shooting. You could actually shoot New York for Cape Town. You could shoot San Francisco for Cape Town. You could shoot some of the major cities in the United States for Cape Town. For instance, in my movie, I have a hospital scene. We could shoot that here. We could shoot the fighting sequence here. I mean, I could shoot my whole movie, guaranteed, if we went through the script, scene by scene, and half of the movie takes place in America. I could probably shoot half of those American scenes right here.
Wow.
I wouldn't have to leave South Africa to shoot the whole movie.
Wow.
I believe that. I could leave and shoot here and just shoot B-roll stuff of America, but I could shoot and having not come here, I wouldn't have known that.
Wow.
But now having been here on the ground, yeah.
So now during the course of this festival, we met a wonderful young student who has a film that talks about the life and times of Sarah Bartman. I'm sure you do know her for Hard and Taught Venus. And she was talking about how she was the very first, icon who set the beauty standard. After her, then the Victorian corset was created, where the white woman tried to emulate, the curves, of that beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Now you've recently, or a few years back, you created a documentary that talks about skin bleaching and about the beauty standards that have been kind of set by European point of view of seeing beauty. You mind sharing your insights on that? And also when walking through the streets of Cape Town and seeing South Africans, what do you see in terms of how our people see themselves and how we dress ourselves with our,
Sure. Well, first off, there's a lot of pride in South Africa. I mean, I just see it. I'm walking through here. I'm seeing the women, different hairstyles, the different looks, the different way they're carrying themselves, and just a lot of pride and dignity, But the documentary came about because in my foundation in West Africa, a lot of the girls on my soccer team, I sponsor soccer teams, both boys and girls there, and both boys and girls, just as recent as like 2 years ago, they started bleaching their skin to look white.
Oh no.
And it was just tearing at my heart. We're really talking about colonization. We're really talking about colonialism. We're talking about, this goes back, 16th century, when they're imposing, colonizers are imposing themselves on us and their standards and how they look, and making us feel inferior for how we look. And so through the years, we've just internalized that. And so the documentary, which is very startling, I mean, you got to see it. And you can watch it. It's on Documentary Plus right now. But the kids in there have bleached their skin to look white. Yeah. And it's a startling thing. But I don't know if I blame the kids as much as I blame social media for promoting whiteness, if you will, the world, if you will, for having adapted a sort of standard of beauty that's not ours. And so they're just sort of buying into it, right? I mean, you just can't blame them, right? It's a long way back, and you have to study colonialism, you have to study racism, to really understand that. But the documentary is called I Find Beauty, right? So in there, we also
What language is that?
We're also looking to exalt Black beauty, who we are as people.
What language is I find? What language is it?
It's Creole. It's Creole, and it's in Sierra Leone. So I find is the Creole term for beauty. Yeah, and so what we're hoping to do there is so that we can, with all of my work, listen, all of my work is about healing, and it's about reflection, and it's about inspiring. So that work is no different. We're looking to just look to heal, to inspire, and to look at ourselves in the mirror and seeing how we can be better as a people.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You've got some very exciting projects that are coming up.
Sure.
Obviously, that's the reason why you're here. Do you mind just maybe touching on some of the themes that are close to your heart? Obviously, I'm not saying reveal any IP, but just themes that you find naturally drawn to, and because I'm pretty sure in the next coming years, people will be knowing so much about you, and your work will have its own signature and footprint but just interested in the themes and the kind of stories that are close to your heart.
Well, again, without giving away too much in terms of the IP, there's a story very close to my heart that takes place in Zimbabwe about women rangers protecting the wild. And so that's going to be a masterpiece of a work when it's done. There's another film that's inspired by my own journey coming to Africa. It's titled True King.
Oh, wow.
And it's about a boxer's sort of a redemption tale. He comes here he comes here for reasons other than trying to find himself, but he ends up finding himself in the process and discovering a young boy who he ends up helping. So it's a sort of a coming of age story. Yeah.
Wonderful, man.
Yeah.
Wonderful. This is exciting. And I know you and my business partner, Kevin, have been having conversations, and we hope some of these wonderful, thoughts and ideas, we'll be able to pen them down and create work going forward.
I'm looking forward to it. And listen, man, this is the beginning. I want to say this is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of a wonderful relationship between me and Africa and the films we're collectively as a body going to produce and make. We're going to change the world.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that. Yeah. Look, Mr. Septuri, we thank you very much for giving us your time. I know that, we are very tired. We've had an incredibly intense week.
Yeah.
But, from the Film Biz Show, for myself, I want to thank you for taking the leap of faith of coming down to South Africa and seeing that this indeed is your home, and you are loved, you are cherished. Your work and your thoughts and your ideas are needed, and there's definitely a space for you, and no one is going to take that from you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I received that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.